Welcome to the Provo Library Podcast. I am Erica Hill. I'm the Community Relations Manager.
And I'm Carla Gordon, the Library Director.
And we are here to talk to you. That sounds dumb. But recently we did a survey and the people spoke to us.
They did. We got a really good response. I think
it's like about 1,100 survey respondents.
Which is great.
Asking we're thinking about strategic planning and long-term library things. And so people gave us their opinions. And every once in a while when we're reading those, it's like these surveys are anonymous, but we want to respond back.
Because we have things to say, explanations, and also so many times we have that.
Yes.
Like, how do we tell that person that what they're asking for is actually already available? Or anyway, so it's frustrating sometimes because I have really good answers and I don't know who is asking for it. So we're just going to throw it out there.
We're pretending like you, our podcast listeners, are the people who asked these questions. You might be, you might not be. You might not have thought you wanted to ask these questions, but maybe you had them.
Somebody else did.
So we're just going to dive right in. Our first kind of topic concerns digital books.
Oh, digital books.
Generally, there were lots of calls for more. There are actually, I feel like, two phrases that pop up over and over in survey comments. One is thank you, which
You're welcome.
And you're welcome. The other is more audiobooks, more digital books, more things. I'm going to read a comment from a patron because I feel like it's such a great setup for what we can talk about. I wish I could borrow digital books and audiobooks for longer. I don't understand why the online library app has limitations on digital borrowing. If it's digital, shouldn't it always be readily available? How does that work?
My first response is I just helped my sister like a couple weeks ago get some stuff on Libby from her state library, which was in Wyoming. And I don't mean to throw shade.
I was going to say, wait a
at Wyoming.
Dunk
but
on
they
Wyoming.
only had 2-week checkout, and she was trying to check out the unabridged Count of Monte Cristo.
It's not a 2-week read.
It's not a 2-week listen. It's like 48 hours. And if she could speed it up, there's a possibility, but she doesn't believe in speeding up audiobooks, which I know, and she's related to me. It's fine.
My husband doesn't either.
Oh,
It gives him heart palpitations.
You just have to just speed it up like 0.1 or 0.25 and then get used to it. And it's like a slippery slope, but it'll make you happy and you can read faster. But anyways, 3 weeks is sometimes, it does feel short.
It does.
I feel that.
I haven't, probably not you. You listen at two times speed, but have I ever run out of time on a book? I have.
I mean, I have.
You have.
But not very often. I prioritize my life.
Carla's got her priorities straight.
Not necessarily. Usually it's sleep that I give up to finish something before the deadline. Anyways, but the question is, why can't it just be everybody has access all the time for as long as you need, because it is a digital file.
Yeah, there's no limitations on printing. There's no
physical copy. Yeah, that totally makes sense. That is a really good comment. Unfortunately, publishers, bless them.
Also, thanks for the books.
Thanks for the books, publishers, but you don't make it easy. So we have to purchase all of our audiobooks, all of our digital ebooks and downloadable audiobooks from a single company that gives us the platform. So Libby and Overdrive, that's the company we do. And so they have contracts out with all of these publishers, and the only way they get the files or the rights to lend out these or to sell them is with these restrictions. And that's kind of what we run into, is all of the publishers have different restrictions and they charge us a lot. It seems like if you get on Amazon and you buy a digital book, what do they run?
It's like $3 or $4.
And even Audible, you can get a credit for
15.
So that sounds like what we should be paying for an audiobook or an ebook. Erica, is that what we pay?
Not what we pay. I mean, I'm not the person who buys things, but I am a person who a couple years ago made a video about this. And I want to say that audiobooks tend to run us somewhere like $50 to $75 a copy. And it's not even a forever copy,
Sometimes
usually.
it is. It's about 50-50. We try to buy more things that are forever copies, like one user, one copy. One copy, one user is what it's called. So we can just check that out forever.
In perpetuity.
Which is great, but they're still like 50 to 7, like sometimes they're $15. Like it just kind of depends on the publisher and what they're charging. But the audiobooks get even more expensive, and then they start putting limitations on some of them where like we can check it out 26 times and then they take it away. So if we're
rebuy it.
Yeah, you have to rebuy it, and it is so expensive. So we're part of a consortium, which makes our collection way bigger than what it is. In fact, of the things we check out, about 2/3 are actually from the state library, are not things that our library actually purchased.
Thank you, State Library.
Thank you, State Library. They do great things, but those lists are the hold lists are long, especially if like we'll buy things if we have lots of our patrons on hold for them. But if you're the only person waiting for book 3 in this series, like you probably will wait a long time because we're not going to spend $50 to buy it when we know only one person is interested in it from our library right now. So that's part of the problem.
Yeah. And then there's also a thing with publishers. I don't know if they're still doing this. They are. So sometimes you might be like, why isn't the library getting book 2 or, you know, whatever number in this series? Or why aren't they, like, this book came out 6 months ago. Why don't we have... That's also a lot of times a restriction on from the publishers.
Especially if, and this happens more often than you think. Don't know that I have a grudge against Tor, but they will switch publishers in the middle of a series. So the first half of the series is available and the last half isn't because it changed publishers and they're not releasing it. Actually, it used to be Shadow Mountain, I feel like.
I think Shadow Mountain is actually still...
anyways, there's just different publishers that have different restrictions. I shouldn't throw shade on any publishers. They do their best, and so do we. So also, like, if only 5 people have checked out 1 and 2 in the series, like 3 they really, really want, but if only a couple people have checked it out, again, we're just trying to give the biggest bang for our buck. And so things are purchased. And then if you've read like the first 3, but we actually ran out of checkouts, like the 26th checkout for that book, it's going to be another $50. Anyways, it just costs a lot. And the State Library and us, like we are both trying our very best to get as many books as possible, but it is a more complicated situation than you think it is. And those digital rights, they're expensive, and publishers aren't just, everybody have them all the time.
Yeah. There's this meme that I saw a while ago, that the word for library in some other language like Norwegian or something is bokhord. That might...
Bokhord?
Yeah, that pronunciation, don't. It's fine. And they said, I like it because, like, it sounds cool and also sort of implies that librarians are dragons, which is great. So we might be dragons, but what we are not is pirates. So we don't lend out illegal copies of digital books.
I don't even know how I would do that because I'm not technologically gifted enough.
I don't know how I would do that either.
But anyways, we wish we could do more. We'll keep trying to throw. We really do try to spend as much, like, so we have this much money for materials. And we, right now, about 1/3 of our checkouts are digital. So we spend about 1/3 of our materials budget on digital things. So we really try to keep it balanced. It's just the print stuff is actually so much cheaper. Yeah. And I will say that our purchasers are very responsive. So I think that the first thing they're doing when they order things like weekly, monthly. Yeah, we all, with audio, like the digital stuff. Digital we do weekly, and they check everything to make sure we're buying things that people have on hold. So, and the State Library usually buys... We have like certain ratios that we try to meet. Yeah. The State Library also... they pay attention to those notify me when. Like, so if you've been on Libby, you can search for something. There's a little button that says deep search. And that will bring up things that have not been published yet or that we don't own. And then if you see that, you can click and notify me that they will let you know if they buy it, and then you can put it on hold. But they look at those, and if enough people are asking for a notification, those are the things that they're more likely to buy. So please use that feature so that they know to buy something. And tell your friends to do it.
Tell your friends
Everybody
to do
put a hold on things, and then we'll be more likely.
Ask me first. Let me get in on first in the hold queue, and
queue.
then we'll go there. So yeah, that's digital rights management things. We also wish that we could have just copies to land in perpetuity.
That would be
It's
awesome.
just not how it works.
And I wish they cost the same as the print,
Yes,
but they don't.
also not how it works. But we are doing our best. Okay. Here's one that is just a completely separate topic that is a little bit like, oh, we have that. Which then whenever it's something that we have that somebody doesn't know we have, I always feel like that's like that it hits me in my soul.
Well, you're in charge of marketing.
Yeah. And
it's
so
all your
I'm
fault.
failing. And I have failed this person. So this person is asking, they would like a quick pickup for hold somehow, like the book return drop, so I don't have to get my kids out of the car just to pick up a book. Then there's that like emoji with the like, I don't know if that's the same as a book locker. It's not exactly the same as a book locker, but it is the same as a service we have called
Curbside pickup.
curbside pickup.
So to use curbside pickup, just put a book on hold, and then in a day they will have it ready for you, and you can come in, call the phone number, say, I am here, and they will grab it and bring it to you. And the pickup is downstairs in the underground parking, which is great because then nobody gets wet or snowy.
And nobody has to get out of the car?
Nobody has to get out of the car. So we hope people use that. Book lockers is actually something that we're thinking about doing in different areas. It is kind of an expensive solution, but definitely something we could do. And I know a lot of libraries in Utah are utilizing that. I think they said Orem
They did just open some at Hillcrest.
Sure.
I think it's a site that used to be an elementary school and is now becoming a community center.
Oh,
maybe.
that makes sense.
And that would make sense somewhere like Franklin Community Center would make sense. A park would make sense. That's definitely on our radar, and we're definitely going to talk to people, see how it goes.
But until we get that, please.
Yeah.
I only have one child, and I hate getting her in and out of car seats and boosters. That's so much. I hate taking her on errands. So I totally get the not wanting to get out of your car. So just place a hold, come on in, give us a call.
Yeah. You do need to wait for the hold notification to come through,
which is usually 24 hours.
If it was on the shelf when you put it on hold. And that's also just a reminder that holds are not just for books that are unavailable, that you can put anything on hold. And the librarians, like if you just know that you're not going to have time to go in and look for things, you can put things on hold.
Yep.
There you go. Okay. Here's a age-old debate. This person says, if only it were more quiet.
Oh.
But wait, this other person says, improve environment. It's too quiet and stale. Where do we fall in this debate, Carla?
I think we're perfect. We're not always perfect. I think that one thing that these comments always make me realize over and over again is that to make this library and the collection and everything perfect for one person, you have destroyed it for someone else. It's a community resource. It's a bunch of people sharing a thing. And so it might not be perfect for you. And so we try to find happy mediums in most of the things that we're doing. And this quiet question is one such thing.
Yes.
So, because our upstairs on the other building, the Rogers Wing.
It's our quiet floor.
It's our quiet floor up on the second floor. And we are pretty good about asking people not to use their cell phones while still trying to make people feel welcome. Because if you're a busy mom with 4 children and you need to go grab a cookbook, like you're going to be upstairs and they're not going to be silent. So we try to help and just make it so that you get what you need and people aren't too disturbed when there's noise.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, people do go up there and want it to be quiet. Though I see more and more noise-canceling headphones up there, which is nice.
that is handy.
Makes it a little less like you're kind of controlling.
Taking control of your
own environment.
quiet environment.
But we do try to keep it quiet up there so that people have a place where it is quiet. And then downstairs and in the children's department, we ask people not to have like, I don't know,
Speakerphone conversations
or like things going, but people talking, kids running around. Like there's just a lot of, I don't know, I have never been down there and thought, it is too quiet here. Where are all the people?
And I personally, the only time I have really ever made this gesture towards anyone while working at the library was when appearing in a reel for city council.
Oh.
So it was a fake shushing. It was a comedic shushing, not an actual, like, we don't actually shush people at this library.
I mean, we do upstairs.
We do. Like this, though?
I mean, no.
No.
Maybe I have. Usually it comes with an apology. I'm so sorry. Can you take your phone call downstairs?
Okay, but that's different
I know.
than turning around and going.
But I have obnoxious teenagers. I have totally done that.
Oh, well.
I used my teacher eyes. Shh. But that's usually after I've told them a couple times and been patient.
Also, what are they doing on that for?
I don't know.
Are they like nonfiction?
I mean, it's 25 years I've been doing this.
That is true.
I don't shush very often. But it happens.
Yeah. But that's the kind of compromise.
Yeah.
We have a place where you're quiet and a place where you don't have to be.
Yeah. I hope people feel welcome. I think either of those things can make people feel unwelcome if they're feeling like if they just want a quiet place, like it's all too much. Life is all too much. Like we all just want a quiet place. And the first floor of the library over there probably isn't that place. But going upstairs, that would be the place. But then if you're looking for interaction and community, the second floor, you may not find that. So just we try to have a variety of places. Yep. And it's nice that we have a building big enough that we can do that and have different spaces. Because some libraries, it's one room.
One big open room.
So it's hard to have
those zones. This is not at all self-serving. I love the library. I also love whoever writes the library emails. Please do everything you can to keep them working at the library forever.
What are you asking for today, Erica?
Just a standard raise. It's fine. Standard raise like usual. It's fine. No, that's funny. I don't know. Just thought I'd be obnoxious and throw that in there.
That's cute. There were a lot of compliments to the library in general.
There were.
We appreciate that we're, by and large, doing a lot of things that people like. And I think the survey said that. I was surprised. There was one question we asked, like, are you aware of these services? And most people were aware of a lot of things that we have. I think the things they were least aware of are the things that are newer. So we'll get there.
Things that are newer or the things that are hard to make sexy. Like it's pretty easy to market. There's some things that are really easy to market. It's really hard for me to know how to market Reference USA.
It's like it's a directory.
It's a directory. Hi, let me tell you about a business directory where you can look up various phone numbers.
It's business and residential.
Business and residential.
And when I was trying to get addresses for when I got married, it was actually
Did you use Reference USA? That's funny.
I did.
That's funny. Library databases, like forget that Google Sheets that you're sending out to people. Just use Reference USA.
No. Use the Google Sheet.
Use the Google Sheet.
But backup. Use the backup. Anyway,
that's funny.
They're useful, but they're only useful exactly when you need them. And so when you market something like we have Chilton Online. So that's all of the motor manuals for all of your cars if you want to do your own repairs. And we can send out a whole bunch of emails and people just glance over it. It doesn't sink in that we have that until one day when they're all, I wish I had a Chilton manual for my car, and then they forget to think of the library. Like it's just hard to catch them in the moment when you need it to give you that information that the library has something that will help you with that. That is the eternal struggle.
Thanks for apologizing for my lack of
She tries.
This is why it's hard.
It is.
Not for any other reason, just that.
Someday she's going to do a really good email for Chilton.
I did for Morningstar, honestly. Remember how we marketed Morningstar and then discovered, we have a limited number of simultaneous logins. So all these people that are like, oh, that sounds cool, I'll maybe investigate.
Couldn't
We're
all
like,
get in
I
at the
can't
same time.
get in. Oh, that's
It's not usually a problem.
no. Just wait a week. That's fine. Okay, let's talk about books.
Awesome.
What are you reading? Oh,
So
you
I
first,
just
me
finished,
first.
I don't know.
You first.
Okay, I go first. I just finished, it's called Shakespeare, The Man Who Pays the Rent by Judi Dench and somebody else who I don't remember his name. But he worked with her a lot. And so they sat down, I believe over COVID, and did all these interviews about all these Shakespeare plays that she's been in. And they kind of go play by play and talk about the characters and the roles she's played and what they all mean and the power behind language and how Shakespeare shaped our language. It was great. The thing so I listened to it, obviously. So it's actually a recording of the interviews. And then there's a book that like has the written stuff. And at the very end, there was like a little interview at the end with them. And he said, nobody's going to know this who listens or reads to it. But the hardest part of this whole project has been editing out all of Judi Dench's cursing. Evidently, she has a potty mouth, which I wouldn't have expected. And also she's hilarious. And he like at one point, he's like, every time you give her an orange, she like shoves it in her mouth and like makes an orange smiley face.
People handing Judi Dench oranges.
Judi Dench. She's just like, can't be serious for any length of time.
She has such a serious face.
I know, but she's hilarious. And it was just really fun to listen to her talk about Shakespeare.
So yeah. Does it listen more like just an audio interview than like a book
interview? It's them talking back and forth. He'll ask her questions and they have really good rapport. You can tell they've worked together for a long time, and every once in a while she's totally annoyed by him and vice versa.
That's
good.
One of the 3 book clubs I'm in picked that for their November pick.
Really?
So hopefully I'll get it before.
You may be on hold for it.
I believe it currently says months. So, and there's no way for a library employee to skip the line.
There's not.
So,
sorry.
It's okay.
We're all in the same boat.
We're all in the same boat. It's good. Okay, what dumb things have I read? I mean, they're fun. I have this thing where I will read like a serious book, and then I just need maybe 2 or 3 short palate cleansers before. So I'm kind of in a palate cleanser mode. So I read, it's not dumb, but it is silly, sort of. I don't know. It's a romance. It's called When in Rome. And I actually just finished the sequel, which is Practice Makes Perfect. They're by Sarah Adams. When in Rome is a pop star, Taylor Swifty kind of reputation a little bit. He's a mega pop star. Decides to try and run from her obligations and but she's obsessed with Audrey Hepburn movies. So she wants to go to Rome, except actual Rome is too far. So she drives to Rome, Kentucky, which is this small town, like 250 people. And her car breaks down on the lawn. Would you guess?
Of an attractive man.
An attractive single man who's wise in the ways of the world, but back to run a pie shop in his hometown? Would you believe?
I would.
And would you believe, I'm going to spoil this.
Do they
get together? They do.
So does it like have like Roman holiday
vibes a little bit. And there's definitely that idea of like having this fleeting time together, because she's always planning on leaving. She's always planning, and that is sort of the beauty and the tragedy of Roman holiday is that she doesn't stay. She can't stay. She can't stay with Gregory Peck. She's got a country that she's like royalty for. So, so there's always this, fleeting, like, our time together is limited, but we can't get together because you're just gonna leave. But obviously they don't have the car part.
And they can't get it.
They can't possibly get it quickly.
If only there were car rentals, but it's fine.
I mean, this small town, that's a little legit. Also, they have very spotty cell phone service.
Okay.
So that's, but yeah, do they fall in love? So the sequel, and I told Brent, my husband, who I often recap these books for, I'm like, there's going to be, so that lead man has 3 single sisters.
Of course.
So
You've got 2 more books after this one.
yeah. So I read the second, which is Practice Makes Perfect. She falls in love with the bodyguard, with the pop star's bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
Surprise!
Surprise.
And I was like, I bet there's like I was like, the older sister is an elementary school teacher, and she's probably going to have some kind of romance where she has to confront her like control freak ways and learn to, yep, that is actually almost exactly the synopsis of the 3rd book. And then before I finished this one, I was like, and that other sister who's miserable as a teacher is going to go to culinary school, and she's probably going to meet somebody. And
So that's where life is.
yeah, she just got accepted into culinary school at the end. So
Yep.
When in Rome, Practice Makes Perfect. They are fun. They are silly. They're closed-door romances.
Makes me want to watch When in Rome now.
Oh, Roman Holiday.
No.
Oh,
No.
I maybe don't know. the
Oh, where
movie.
she like, it's Kristen, Veronica Mars.
Oh, Kristen Bell?
Bell.
Oh, yes.
She goes and flips the coin, and then she has all the men running after her.
Yes.
It's funny.
It is funny.
Yeah, I should watch that.
Yay for funny books. Would you believe?
They get together.
They get together. So it's fun. Okay.
Okay, well.
I think that's us for today. Thanks for listening. Keep borrowing digital books. Don't get mad at us when the lines are long.
We'll do our best.